I'm excited because today I get to talk about friendship. And I have seen some of the coolest friendships in the world formed in this place, and for that I am so grateful. And I think all of us would agree, when you have a really good friend, that is a really cool thing. Not just a fly-by-night friend, but a friend that's really going to be there with you, that's committed to you. And as I was thinking about this talk, I thought there's a lot of songs about friendship. And some songs we sing at the church about friendship. Do y'all remember the song? I don't remember who did it. Jimmy, you would know. Lean on Me. Bill Withers. Was that Bill Withers? We used to sing that every Sunday. Do you remember, Amber, when you were a kid, we'd sing that every Sunday. Can you do something totally on the spot, just a chorus? Can you lead us in that? We know that. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Let's sing it. Get us in the key. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. That's low for me. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna be somebody to lean on. Call on your brother, or you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean. Sing the chorus, okay? Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, Lord. It won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Hey, y'all did good. Y'all did really good. We ought to put that in one Sunday. I like that song. I was thinking of other songs, and what is the song? It's from a movie, the kid movie.
Oh, it's Toy Story.
Microphone's not on?
It's Toy Story, and we're big Randy Newman fans at the Waters household, and so we love You've Got a Friend in Me. Now, if y'all can't tell, I don't sing much anymore, but the kids in my house are ridiculous singers. So can I invite my son Avery up? We haven't practiced this at all. Can I invite my son Avery up? We're going to sing a song.
This mic or this one?
Let's do this one, too.
All right. Sing it, Avery.
You remember the words? Y'all gonna help us too. You can't look at yourself. You gotta look at the.
Yeah.
Gotta look at people.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road is rough ahead and you're miles in my from your knife for me. Just remember what your old pal said. Oh, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road is rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your newborn babe. Did you remember what your old pal said? Oh, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me.
Yeah. Good job, buddy. Man. And oh, by the way, he'll be 9 years old on Tuesday. Happy birthday, Avery. Happy birthday, Avery. Now, I was thinking of another one, and you are Mr. Jazz, and so, I don't know, this may be so out of your deal, but Garth Brooks used to sing a song about friends in low places, and that just feels like a village. It just feels like us. Do you know any of that?
Y'all guys sing it with me. I got friends in low places where whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm not big on social social graces. Think I'll slip on down to the oasis, 'cause I got friends in low places.
Can we do it again?
Again, here we go. I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I'm not big on social grace. Slip on down to the oasis, 'cause I got friends in low places.
I like it. I like it.
I've never sung that in church.
I know you never sung that in church. I think it's awesome because some of you country folks, y'all were singing like it's the best church song you ever heard in your life. And some of our African American people are like, what are they saying? What is that they're doing? I love that. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Yo, all the songs, those are great songs. They talk about being friends, and it's wonderful to be a friend. A few years ago, a British publication offered a prize for the very best definition of a friend. And here were some of the definitions that they received. One was this: a friend is one who multiplies joys and divides grief. That's pretty good. Another one was this: a friend is one who understands your silence. And isn't that true when you have a friend that understands your silence? Here was the winning definition, though: a friend is one who comes in when the whole world has gone out. And I love that. That's really, really good. Oprah Winfrey said it like this: lots of people want to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. Isn't that true? That's true. Mark Lowry said this: a friend will help you move. A great friend will help you move the body. And that's true. But my favorite definition is a picture I saw of two little boys when one wasn't tall enough to reach the urinal. And in my life, I have never had a friend that good to me. Ever, ever, ever. It may surprise you to know that the word friend or friendly or friendship appears over 100 times in the Bible. And we see it right out of the gate. The very first story in the Bible, the story of creation, you have God saying when there is just one, God says, it is not good for humanity, for a human, for a man, to be alone. Proverbs 17:17, my favorite verse on friendship, says this: a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. I love that. A friend loves at all times. When we're down, when we have screwed up, when we fall, when we fail, a true friend's love never fails. A true friend is there with you. I've used this saying in weddings before, but it's true for friendship. A joy shared is doubled. A sorrow shared is half. And that's so true. I like this verse too, Proverbs 27:6. Wounds from a sincere friend are more important than many kisses from an enemy. What that means is a true friend, he or she may tell you the truth and it may hurt you, but it's there to help you. And you'd rather have those wounds from a friend because they cut, but they cut in a way that is meant to help you heal, than the kisses of the enemy, which are there only to flatter you and deceive you. This is a great verse on friendship. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 and 10. Two people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. That's why life's not supposed to be a solo act, y'all. Life is not supposed to be a solo act. Proverbs 27:17 says this: as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. I like that. Some of the great stories in the Bible are about friendship. You want to read a passionate story in the Bible about friendship, it is with David and his best friend Jonathan. And y'all, they loved each other. They loved each other as friends. You want to read a great friendship? see how a mother-in-law and her daughter-in-law became great friends. Read the story of Ruth and Naomi and how important that is. You want to read a New Testament story about friendship? Read the story of Paul and Barnabas and how they were able to help each other. We all like to think about having friends and being a friend, but the statistics are pretty dismal concerning how people are actually doing on this friendship thing. In 2018, Cigna, the health insurance company, funded a study about friendship in America. Researchers found that most Americans across all demographics often feel lonely, left out, and not known. How many of you know somebody, maybe you, who would say, yeah, me or somebody I know, they feel left out, lonely, and they're really going through a rough time? Interestingly, they found that 62% of adults have between 2 and 5 close friends. 62% would say they have between 2 and 5 close friends. 42% of friendships are with people that we work with. Tamika was telling me she has a friend from work here today, and that's wonderful. Maybe that's where where some of your friendships are from. 35% of friendships are with people we meet because they're friends of friends. 29% of friendships are with our neighbors. One of the beautiful things about the village, I believe, is our diversity. Diversity is a very beautiful thing because when we are friends with people who are different, our empathy grows. Does that make sense to you? If I only know people who are in every way just like me, I don't have any growing empathy. But if I know people who have a different life struggle than I have, and if I know them and I love them, then I'll learn how to grow in empathy with them. So that's a beautiful thing. But sadly, that can't be said for most Americans. Most Americans kind of stay in their group. 62% of Americans are only friends with people who share their same religious beliefs. 62% of Americans. So that means that you don't know anybody outside of your religious beliefs. 74% of Americans are only friends with people who share their race or ethnicity. White people only hanging out with white people, black people only hanging out with black people, Hispanic people only hanging out with Hispanic people. 56% of Americans are only friends with people at similar income levels. I really want to be friends with people who make a lot better financially than me, and I didn't know that was going to be funny, but yes, but also I want to be friends with people who make a lot less than me because I want to stay connected to the struggle. Does that make sense? I don't want to live in a gated world where I only see my little deal and I'm only worried about my little deal. I was exposed to a phrase, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I want to vote the common good. I want to consider what's going to be good for all these different pockets of people, and I want to try to help all of them, not just think about my little world. I think that's important. 62% of Americans are only friends with people who share their political beliefs. 62% are only friends with people who share their political beliefs. 69% of Americans are only friends with people in roughly the same stage of life. That means people like me, 57, 62% only are going to be friends with people that are kind of same age, 57. I really want, when I'm 75, I want to have friends in their 50s, and I want to have friends in their 30s, and I still want to have, I've got a friend that's 18 and 19. I want to be friends all the way across the deal. I think that makes life so much better. And perhaps the saddest of all was this statistic: 91% of conservative evangelicals are only friends with other conservative evangelicals. 91%. Whew, that seems tough to me. Now, when I read those statistics, it's easy to get kind of discouraged, and so I had to kind of encourage myself by looking up some health benefits of friendships, and there's a ton of health benefits if you have good friends. And some of you have incredible friends, and some of you are incredible friends. You have these good friendships. This is very helpful. According to the Mayo Clinic, and by the way, that's not our Mayo, unless he's doing stuff I don't know, because he stays busy, so it might be him, I'm not sure. But according to the Mayo Clinic, friendship is really good for your health. It's good for you. This is what they said: adults with strong social support have a reduced risk of many significant health problems, including depression, high blood pressure, and an unhealthy body mass index, or BMI. Studies have even found that older adults with a rich social life are likely to live longer than their peers with fewer social connections. The Center for Aging at Flinders University in Australia found that the friendship was actually more important than family connections. And how many of you will say, yes, I figured that out? Friendship is actually closer and more important to you than the family connections that you have. People with a healthy network of friends, this study showed, live 22% longer than people who live in isolation. In the absence of close friendships, often we self-medicate with food, alcohol, drugs. This was maybe my favorite thing. One of the most famous research projects that has ever been done on relationships is called the Alameda County Study. It was headed by a Harvard social scientist, and it took place over a 9-year period of time. They tracked the lives of 7,000 people who were residents of Alameda County in California. They found that the most isolated people were 3 times more likely to die than the most relationally connected people. These are all very important findings. They discovered that people who had bad health habits, like smoking, poor eating patterns, obesity, alcohol abuse, and so forth, but they had strong relational connections. So they do bad on the eating and all that stuff, but they do really good with relationships. They actually live significantly longer than people who had great health habits, but who lived in isolation. I figured this out. In other words, they found it's better to eat donuts with good friends than to eat broccoli by yourself. That was part of what the study found out. Now, there's another study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association that took 276 volunteers, and it infected them all with a virus that produces the common cold. In this study, they found that people with deeper relationships did 4 times better fighting off illness than those who were more isolated. You get this? They infected people with the common cold virus, and then they watched these people, and if you had better relationships, you were able to fight off the cold better. Those with stronger relational connections were less susceptible to colds. They literally, important to get this, they literally produce significantly less mucus than relationally unconnected subjects. I'm not making this up. I'm not making it up. People who don't have a lot of friendships are snottier than people who have a lot of friendships. That's what the study proves. And I think it's very, very important. We were created by God for community, for relationships. We sense that. On a biological level, we know that. We have intuited that for a long time. We were created for community. We were made for relational connectedness. We were designed by God to love and be loved, to serve and to be served, to know and to be known, to celebrate and to be celebrated. Now, let me tell you some misconceptions about the whole friendship thing. Misconception number 1 is adults should know how to make and maintain friendships, that we should just know intuitively how to do that. That's not necessarily so. A few weeks ago, we talked about the importance of play. I don't know if y'all remember that talk, but I thought it was a very helpful talk because we talked about as adults, we have lost our ability to play. We don't know how to do it as adults. But playing as children teaches us important lessons that we need to continue to practice. It teaches us about fairness and kindness, and these are all very, very important, but we don't know sometimes how to carry it on. Same thing is true with this idea of relationships. Oftentimes, things like time management makes it very difficult for us to ever have time to develop friendships. And we have to know that that's a part of the deal. We've got to learn how to do it. So just thinking because you're an adult, you automatically know how to do it, you might have to work on a few things. Another misconception is this: adults should have lots of friends. That's not necessarily so. I don't want anybody, if you have a good friend or a couple of good friends, I don't want you to leave here and feel guilty because you think you don't have enough good friends. We are all different. I probably have a few more friends than some because I'm an extrovert by nature, which maybe tends to put me in contact with more people than others. My job probably puts me in contact with more people than others. But you don't have to have a lot of friends. If I numbered the people in my friendship camp who I actually feel completely free to be vulnerable around, that number shrinks significantly, you understand? So don't let people who have thousands of people on their Facebook deal, they don't have thousands of friends. Trust me, they don't have thousands of friends. They have a few friends. Life satisfaction depends on relationships, but the number of close connections for me will be different from you. That's okay. No judging each other, no trying to compare, because that's silliness. What's important for all of us is that we surround ourselves with people who are weird in the same way that we are weird, and then to learn how to be there for each other and make sure that's what I'm really talking about. The great artist Prince used to start his shows by saying, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to help each other make it through this thing called life." And I like that. Spiritual teacher Ram Dass, someone that I have read a lot after, said this: we're all going to the same place and we're all on the same path, but sometimes our paths converge. Sometimes they separate and we can hardly see each other, much less hear each other, but on the good days, we're walking on the same path, close together, and we're walking each other home. And I just always liked the way that sounded. Another misconception is this, that we should have one best friend. Simply the best, better than all the rest. One person who is our everything. Now, I will say, there's no doubt about it in my life, Jane is my best friend. Some of y'all have said, "Where is Jane today?" She is taking her mom to a family reunion in Carrollton, Georgia. And so I'm really excited that they're getting to do that. But Jane's my best friend. She is the person that I'm most willing to be most vulnerable with. She knows the good and she knows the bad about Ray Waters, and she loves me through it all. She is my favorite friend. And it's okay to have a best friend. It's okay to have a favorite friend. But what we mean when we use the phrase best friend involves the idea of reciprocity. Jane is my best friend, and I hope that I'm Jane's best friend, but it's also perfectly natural and healthy to have other great friendships. And sometimes those friendships won't be reciprocal. Sometimes you will put more in than the other person. You have to know that that happens sometimes. Only half of our friendships in life are reciprocated. Think about that, only half of our friendships. So you say sometimes, "Hey, I'm in a friendship over here, and I seem to be putting a lot more into it than they put into it." Yeah, about half of your friends, that's what it's going to be. You are going to care a little bit more, you're going to do a little bit more, you're going to be putting more in than they do. Half of our relationships, the person matters more to us than maybe we matter to them. Jane and I, best friends, but you know what? There's people that I enjoy their company around certain areas of my life. For example, Jane and I, we share political beliefs, but she's not really into talking politics much with me. But I have a friend who's a PhD who is brilliant, and he's politically brilliant. You know what I love more than anything, just about, is having lunch with him once a month and talking about everything that's happening all around the country and around the world. I love that. He is my friend. I love that. My sons, I could, the highlight of my life. And if you can have your adult kids be your best friends, that is an amazing thing. And I feel that way with both Ray and Ethan. And we love talking about everything. We love talking politics, and we love talking church, and we love talking sports, and we love talking about the village, all those things. I have people that are sports friends. Used to in the village, we had tons of guys who kept up with football all the time. And churches go through seasons where that's true. And we went through a season where those guys went on to different churches, and I thought, this is weird, but I didn't know. This is how I had to grow. It didn't dawn on me that we have some ladies that are unbelievable sports fans that actually know more about it than those crazy guys did. And so now we've got some ladies that are fantastic on sport. I mean, they know the stuff. And so now it's like, guys, y'all don't have to come to my house. They're coming to my house, and we're watching games, and we're playing fantasy football, and we're doing all those things. And so I am very, very happy. That is a good thing. Fourth myth is that our childhood friendships should be relevant and continue throughout our adult lives. Occasionally, somebody from childhood will stay a friend all the way through. But can I tell you what has been my experience? Most of the time, that's not true. They are friends because of locale, where you are at one particular point in your life, but rarely do you become an adult and find that you have all these great friendships with these people that you thought were going to be your great friends when you were in the 10th grade. It normally doesn't work out like that. And sometimes if you have moved and tried to progress in your life and you're trying to learn and become a better human being, you'll find that sometimes that those people from your past, they haven't really tried to do that. And so you just find that there's a separation. Many friendships have an expiration date. Maybe that's something to remember. Many friendships that you've had should have an expiration date. It doesn't necessarily serve you well for them to be your friend in the future. A fifth misconception about friendship is that we're not good at it, and by that I mean we beat ourselves up because we say, I suck at knowing how to be a friend. And I just love that at the Village, we don't beat anybody up and say you're a depraved individual and you're just out of the gate, you're sorry, and no wonder you don't know how to do that because you're just a lowlife and you're just, that whole idea is just not a part of what we believe. We believe that you were made in the image of God. You say, Ray, are you talking about me? It's like, yeah, I'm talking about you. Your imago Dei, God is in you. You say, but I've never been to church. Don't you have to go to church before you get the card or whatever that God's in you? It's like, no, God is in you. You were created after God. You were. And you're okay. Don't beat yourself up. Maybe you need to learn a few things along the way, but it's not that you're just suck at friendship or whatever. You can learn this thing. It's going to be all right. Don't beat yourself up. Here's a final misconception, and I've never said this in a service, and so I'm really proud of this. Remember the movie When Harry Met Sally? Some of y'all remember that movie? There was a one famous line in that movie about men can't be friends with women. Do y'all remember that? Men can't be friends with women. I just want you to know that I don't believe that's true. I believe that you can be friends with the opposite sex. I think if you're adult, you can be friends with the opposite sex, no question. There might be moments of sexual tension, but there doesn't have to be, and if so, you can navigate it and you can do it in an honorable way. It is true men tend to be more sexually attracted to their women friends than their women friends are to them, but grown men and women can be friends. They can, and so I'm really proud that we can stand by that. I don't believe that that's right, that you have to say, oh my gosh, we can't be friends with somebody of the opposite sex. That's not true. Now let me share with you some obstacles we have with friendships, and these are things that maybe you'll relate to. Some people are totally content to take more than they give. They're takers by nature, and that wears people out in friendship. If you're a taker, always taken. A negative outlook is a difficulty in friendship. Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, too, were generous in their friendship to Eeyore. Y'all remember? They're generous to Eeyore, but most of us are more attracted to optimistic, fun-filled people. And if somebody's always singing the blues, it is hard to get people to be your friend. I'd put this on my refrigerator if I was y'all. Some of y'all need this on your refrigerator. When you're complaining all the time, you become a living, breathing crap magnet. That's what happens. That is what happens to you. And you don't want to be a crap magnet. You understand? You don't want that to be your life. If you are always whining, you will attract a type of person that is not best. And so you need to get that out of your head. Another obstacle is friendships fail when we take always more than we give. When that's kind of the way it is. If you're always a taker, you'll drain friendships dry. So you really need to learn how to be a giver in every way. Some signs of healthy friendships. Healthy friends can get busy and not see each other, but that's all right. They have something in them that knows to check in from time to time. So you may not talk to a great friend for 6 months. It's okay. You just kind of know, I need to give Tim a call. I need to give Steve Hooks a call. I need to reach out and I need to check with this person. I haven't talked to this person in a while. An unhealthy friendship involves someone being needy all the time. That's not a good thing. Most of life does involve superficial interactions, but healthy friendships, when you have that healthy friendship, you know what I'm talking about. You just need to touch base from time to time and everything's good. And you know when to do it. You just kind of have a way of knowing. It's really a good thing. Let me share with you one final thing, and that's some ways to meet new friends, because some of you might be interested in meeting some new friends. And I think that would be a wise idea, because all of us could use another good friend, I believe. Most adults report they find it hard to develop new friendships. We even fool ourselves into believing we don't really need them, because we say people are draining, and I don't want to even make the effort because people suck the life out of me. But if you find a friend, a real friend, it is a richly rewarding thing. So here's a few ideas. Get involved in your local community in a way that's important to you. Google some of the activities going on in your town. That's a good way to find out. And then get involved. Make some new friends. I made friends in my neighborhood. Jane and I lived in our neighborhood for years, and we really didn't know anybody. And so we said one day, you know what? We need to get involved in our neighborhood, and if we get involved in our neighborhood, we believe we'll make some friendships. And so that's what we did. We started going to the neighborhood association meeting, and sure enough, we began to make friendships. We began inviting people over for dinner at our house in our neighborhood. And lo and behold, we began to make friendships. Volunteering is another great way to meet new friends. I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but we see it happen all the time. Do you know we have some ladies that work in the cafe who really didn't know each other great until they started working together in the cafe? But you know what? Now, next week, which will be one of our Sundays when we take off here, some of those ladies are going to Florida together. And I worry about that. Y'all ladies, I mean, it's a wild and crazy bunch, but they are going to Florida. They have become good friends. You know how they connected? They connected by cooking together on Sunday mornings. That's an amazing thing. Another idea is to join a group centered around something you care about or are interested in. I'm so proud. Jessica Whitaker over here came to me with the idea of a book club. And she started a book club around a Rachel Held Evans book. And we had many of you in this group said, oh my gosh, I've been dying to be in a book club. And so you committed to staying after church on Sundays, and y'all would prepare this meal. Sometimes it was just, I didn't want to even leave because the food y'all would bring in was amazing. And y'all would have this wonderful conversation about your spirituality and about deconstruction and where you were on your faith journey. And the people who were in that, their lives have been just totally blessed because people got together around something they were interested in. Look for things to do where you're interested in the same kind of a thing. It's an awesome thing. Pick something new you want to learn to do and find a place where people are learning to do it. That's another thing. You can look up. You want to learn how to garden. You want to learn how to fix something. You want to learn how to make something. There's classes. You can learn how to do that. The big thing is I want friendship to be something that you're really good at. I want you to say, you know what, in this life, because that matters more than anything, I believe. Do you have some good friendships? And I'll let you know, sometimes the people that you think are great, sometimes you go through a hard time and you find out, yeah, they weren't good for adversity. They weren't really there to walk with you through the tough times. Yeah, you learn your lesson. It's okay. But you want to find some friends that will really be there with you and that you can be with for them. I hear this from time to time. I find out about a little friendship connection, and I'll find out that this couple maybe had a baby, and then this couple over here at the village, they decided to bring a meal over to this couple's house so they wouldn't have to worry about dinner when they first came home from the hospital. Or found out that this person over here had a doctor who wouldn't let him mow the grass because he's had a hernia operation. And so this person over here says, I'm going to take my lawnmower over and I'm going to cut the grass for this person because we're friends. We're friends. You know, I wish I could just make it automatic for everybody, but I can't. But I really believe if you want to have friends, you could find people in this place. You really could. And part of having a friend is learning how to be a friend. And it really is a beautiful way to live. I love that we call this a chosen family because we are saying when we come to this place, yeah, I want these people to be my family. I want them to be my family. I want to have diversity in my family. I want straight and gay, black and white, people with money, people with no money. By the way, a lot more no monies in this house than people that's got money. I just want you to know. But I want to be friends with male and female. I want to be friends with people who have a religious background and people who don't. I want to be friends with everybody I can. And that's being a part of a chosen family. I just like this quote. I saw it this week. Musician, rapper, and actor Rev Run. Remember Rev Run? He said this, be happy. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Go where they're missing you, not where they're dissing you. And I want you to know this is a good place for that. Would you bow your heads again, please? God, thank you for today. Thank you for letting us pause in the midst of our busy weeks and busy lives and just talk about something that's real important, and that's being a friend and learning how to develop friendships, learning how to be a good friend. I pray in this place we would all find a friend or two who would walk with us in this life, who would help us when we're going through hard times, and that we can help just as much. And oh God, thank you for being a friend who sticks closer to us than any brother. Thank you for being our friend. And we pray this in Christ's name.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the